Welcome to Simply Sewing with Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and in sewing we often come across a casing. A casing is a little piece of fabric that is folded over that we need to put something in. It could be elastic, it could be cording, ribbon. Any of these things are very, very common. There's a lot of tips, techniques, and different ways that we can get that in and out. So let's cover the ins and outs on casings. Casings need to come in many different sizes because there's many different applications that they can be put on. They're on cuffs, waistbands, the little string around the hoodie is in a casing, drawstring bags. There are a lot of different applications, which means there's a lot of different sizes, from very big to very small. Casings are made so that we can put something in one side and have it come out the other side. And then they can be gathered up, regardless if it's ribbon, elastic, or the cording. There's some very traditional things that we can use. The most traditional and homemade thing would be a safety pin. It does work. We put that in and we can feed it through. When we have a big space, we have a lot more options, and it definitely can be easy to put them through. We can start that end in. We're going to push this little end and push it up in between our fingers. And then pull the end. And we're going to be able to push and pull. Push and pull. And we're going to be able to do that all the way until we get to the end. When it comes to the end, well, we have that in and now out. There are disadvantages of using a safety pin. The one thing is, it's very easy for this to get twisted inside, and we do want it to remain flat. That way it gathers up nice and it is more comfortable. The safety pin is very easy to twist as we're going along. So we will have to straighten that up inside. The biggest disadvantage is if we're using this for something small and we're going in and we fit it in and we've come halfway inside, often that pin will open. If we're really lucky, we might be able to pull that back out. But chances are you will have to take apart your seam in order to remove the safety pin. So if you can get a safety pin that has a very strong end to it, or a safety end, even kilt pins work really well. The only thing is kilt pins are quite big. We can also help these pins and any tool that we have go through these casings with straws. The disadvantage with straws is we don't have a lot of sizes to choose from. I take care of this big fat straw. It is an old straw that I actually got from bubble tea. And a lot of times it will fit inside the casing. So I can put that straw inside the casing. And then it's very easy to put this all the way through. And then you'd remove the straw. If you have a very skinny straw and a little cording, you might be able to put that cording through first until it comes out of the end. And then I can just put this right through. My cording comes out. My straw comes out. And the elastic or cording stays in. So straws can be helpful. Of course, there are notions that we can buy to help us get that cording inside. To help keep that cording straight and not twisted, you can get these flat tools. They come in a package with different sizes because, well, we have different size casings. They have holes, so you can put this in and then put that through the casing. This flat end are designed so that we can put whatever we need in, and we loop it over, and it puts a bit of a lock on this. So now when we push this through, it's going to stay flat as we go through. So it's going to keep whatever's coming behind also flat. This is a little metal bobbin, and it has this little ring on it that comes down, opens up these little teeth. Put whatever you're putting through on the teeth and then close that bar. This works good if you have something very thin, but if you're trying to get something wide, this little ring will not go over top of this wider thing. So it works good for these very thin pieces of ribbon, cording, or elastic. Now this is going to be able to go all the way through. So the smooth end is going to go in first, and you're pushing from the back side. If you do it the opposite way, as you're pushing, this ring is going to slide out and you're going to have this open. So be sure to push it from the ring side. So this is going to go through first. A flat casing is definitely easier to thread through than a casing that has been joined up and is in a circle, like what we would have with a cuff. Because they are small little circles, we need something flexible to go all the way around. And you can get lots of different flexible bobbins. I've had these for a long time. This one is a flexible wire with a little red ball on the end and a loop on the other. We put whatever we need through that loop and close it. They're tying a knot or putting a little stitching. The last thing we want this to do is go around a little tiny surface for this to pop off halfway through. This is very skinny, so it's going to go through the skinniest little casings, and of course it'll work good for the wider ones too. This is another flexible one. On the end it has this little claw, so we can put whatever we want in that claw, close it up, and it stays really tight. This will not, however, work for a very thin casing. It works great for a medium one and a large one, and it flexes. A sewing needle can also be used. This is a very large needle and it's used in knitting. We put the wool in here and this helps us sew our seams closed. So it has a very big hole for the wool to go in and a round end. As long as you can get whatever you need to in this hole, we are going to be able to use this. But I would recommend to not put it through this way, have it go through this way. So there are some good old-fashioned traditional ways, and there's many that we can buy. And if you ever come across some nice big straws, definitely put them in your sewing box. So we have a lot of homemade tools, and we can get some store-bought tools to help us get whatever we need to put in to get it to come out on the other side. I hope this answers a lot of questions about the ins and outs of casings. And thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're talking about next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.